The potential matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has sparked intense debate within the boxing community, fueled by a mix of personal rivalries, contrasting fighting styles, and questions about legacy. The discussion revolves around their respective resumes, physical attributes, and the strategic approaches each fighter might employ in a hypothetical clash. The tension between the two has grown personal, with both exchanging verbal jabs that add layers of intrigue to an already compelling narrative. Crawford, a highly skilled switch hitter, has expressed skepticism about the quality of Canelo's resume, arguing that many of the elite fighters Canelo faced, such as Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto, and Sergey Kovalev, were past their prime. He points out that Canelo's loss to Floyd Mayweather, an active legend at the time, exposed vulnerabilities when facing a truly elite opponent in their prime. Crawford believes this weakens the perception of Canelo as an untouchable figure in boxing. He also feels disrespected by Canelo's dismissive attitude toward his own accomplishments, claiming Canelo downplays the quality of his opposition to undermine him. This back and forth has escalated the stakes, with Canelo reacting strongly to reports of Crawford sparring with Mayweather, interpreting it as a deliberate attempt to diminish his legacy. For Canelo, the fight has transcended business, becoming a personal mission to prove his dominance. The boxing world is divided on who holds the edge. Some, like promoter Eddie Hearn, acknowledge Canelo's natural size advantage, given his experience at super middleweight, 168 pounds, compared to Crawford's roots at welterweight, 147 pounds, and junior middleweight, 154 pounds. However, Hearn doesn't dismiss Crawford's chances, emphasizing his unshakable confidence and precision. Crawford's ability to control the pace, distance, and rhythm of a fight could neutralize Canelo's physical edge, making an upset plausible. Hearn highlights the importance of mindset, noting that Crawford's belief in himself creates a dangerous dynamic for any opponent, regardless of size. Crawford's camp is equally optimistic. His longtime trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, expresses unwavering confidence, stating that their preparation has been meticulously tailored to counter Canelo. From nutrition to film study, every aspect of Crawford's training camp is designed to exploit Canelo's tendencies. Bomac believes that Crawford's mental sharpness and adaptability will make the fight easy pickings if executed correctly. This confidence stems from Crawford's history of dominating opponents across multiple weight classes, including a decisive victory over Errol Spence Jr., a top pound-for-pound fighter at the time. While some argue Spence was compromised by prior injuries, Crawford's performance was so commanding that it solidified his reputation as a generational talent. Others, like former Canelo opponent Daniel Jacobs, offer a balanced perspective. Having faced Canelo and observed Crawford's development over the years, Jacobs describes Crawford as a beast with explosive, unpredictable speed and a versatile skill set. Crawford's ability to switch stances and throw punches from unconventional angles could pose problems for Canelo, who is accustomed to more predictable opponents. Jacobs sees the fight as a 50-50 proposition but leans slightly toward Crawford due to his timing and ring intelligence. However, he acknowledges Canelo's physicality, noting that the Mexican star's power and experience at higher weights could overwhelm a smaller fighter if Crawford fails to execute a flawless game plan. The size disparity is a recurring theme in the debate. John Ryder, another fighter who shared the ring with Canelo, emphasizes the challenge Crawford faces moving up 2 weight classes. Canelo's physical presence, combined with his ability to absorb punishment, makes him a formidable obstacle. Ryder landed clean shots on Canelo but found him unshaken, a testament to his durability. While Ryder praises Crawford's technical brilliance and adaptability, he believes Canelo's size and strength might prove too much on fight night. Similarly, rising star Jaron Ennis cautions that Crawford must make Canelo respect his power early. Without that respect, Canelo's ability to hurt larger opponents could tilt the fight in his favor. Ennis suggests Crawford take a warm-up fight at 160 pounds to acclimate to the higher weight class, highlighting the physical demands of facing a naturally bigger fighter. Crawford, however, remains undeterred by the size difference. He outlines 2 potential strategies to defeat Canelo. The first involves applying pressure to disrupt Canelo's rhythm, forcing him to fight out of his comfort zone. Crawford notes that strong fighters like Canelo often struggle when pushed back, as they're unaccustomed to retreating. The second approach mirrors Mayweather's blueprint, using slick defense, precise counters, and superior footwork to outmaneuver Canelo. While Crawford lacks Mayweather's size, he believes his speed and timing can compensate. His versatility as a hybrid fighter, capable of blending aggression with tactical precision, gives him confidence in solving the Canelo puzzle. Analysts point out that Canelo's fighting style has evolved over time. Once known for his combination punching, he now relies more on single powerful shots. This shift could play into Crawford's hands, as Canelo's tendency to load up leaves openings for counters. However, Crawford's counterpunching style, which often involves absorbing a punch to land multiple in return, could be risky against Canelo's power. Unlike Mayweather, whose defensive mastery ensured he rarely got hit cleanly, Crawford's willingness to trade could lead to trouble. If he takes a clean right hand from Canelo, the size and power disparity might result in a knockdown or force him to retreat, as seen in Canelo's fight against Jermall Charlo. The broader context of the matchup adds to its significance. Legendary commentator Jim Lampley frames it as a clash of warriors driven by pride and legacy. Both fighters share a relentless desire to prove themselves, making the outcome unpredictable. While Canelo's experience and physical advantages are undeniable, Crawford's intangible qualities, his instincts, adaptability, and composure, set him apart. Teddy Atlas, a respected trainer and analyst, describes Crawford as special, a term he reserves for fighters with rare intelligence and finishing ability. Atlas acknowledges Canelo's greatness but suggests he might be slightly overrated, particularly as his speed and stamina show signs of decline. Crawford, by contrast, remains at the peak of his powers, consistently improving with each fight. Public perception of Canelo's resume is also under scrutiny. Crawford's claim that Canelo's signature wins came against faded champions has sparked debate among fans. While Canelo boasts victories over names like Mosley, Cotto, and Kovalev, critics argue these fighters were past their prime. His loss to Mayweather, as well as competitive fights against Erislandy Lara and Dimitri Bivol, suggest vulnerabilities against skilled, elusive opponents. Crawford's resume, while less star-studded, includes dominant wins over Spence, Sean Porter, and Kell Brook. Though some question the quality of these opponents, citing injuries or decline, Crawford's ability to dismantle top-tier fighters cannot be ignored. Joe Rogan, a prominent voice in combat sports, believes the timing favors Crawford. He argues that Canelo, while still elite, has shown signs of slowing down, particularly in terms of speed and endurance. Crawford, on the other hand, continues to sharpen his craft, dominating opponents with surgical precision. Rogan compares Crawford's potential upset to Ray Leonard's victory over Marvin Hagler, emphasizing the importance of angles, movement, and quick in-and-out attacks. Max Kellerman goes further, crowning Crawford the current pound-for-pound king. He points to Canelo's recent performances against Bivol and Ryder as evidence of his decline, while Crawford's flawless execution across weight classes solidifies his supremacy. Roy Jones Jr. adds another layer, stressing that the fight's outcome hinges on Canelo's approach. If Canelo relies on outboxing Crawford, he risks being outmaneuvered. However, if he leverages his power and experience, he could overwhelm the smaller fighter. Jones underscores the importance of execution under pressure, noting that Crawford's mindset will be critical. Alexander Usyk, who has defied weight class expectations himself, views the matchup as competitive, affirming Crawford's status as the best pound-for-pound fighter today. The narrative surrounding the fight carries significant weight. A Canelo victory might be downplayed due to the size mismatch, while a Crawford win would be a historic achievement, cementing his legacy as one of boxing's all-time greats. The personal animosity, combined with the stakes for both fighters' legacies, elevates this matchup beyond a mere title fight. For Canelo, it's a chance to silence doubters and reassert his dominance. For Crawford, it's an opportunity to prove he can conquer a bigger, stronger opponent and redefine his place in boxing history. As the debate rages on, the boxing community remains split. Some see Canelo's size, power, and experience as insurmountable, while others believe Crawford's skill, adaptability, and determination make him a legitimate threat. The clash represents a collision of two eras, with Canelo's established greatness meeting Crawford's relentless ascent. Regardless of the outcome, the fight promises to be a defining moment in the sport, one that will shape how both fighters are remembered for years to come.